Hey Ariel, how you doing? You're looking a little anxious today. What's going on? Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. I mean, there's the news, and there's social media, and worst of all, my last picture, I hardly got any likes. I can't believe it. I hardly got any likes. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I think I can help. It's a really amazing book that I read every day. Yeah, man, it gives me peace. It gives me, just a sense of well-being, settledness. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the Bible.
Seriously? Like, everybody knows that the Bible was written like over 1,000 years ago. I mean, you just can't trust it. Like, have you ever heard of the telephone game? Like, one person whispers something into the first person, in their ear, and then the second person, and by the time you get around the circle, the whole thing is changed. Well, the Bible's been written over and over and over again. You can't trust a word that's in there. I mean, you don't even know that Jesus is real.
Actually, it was written over 2,000 years ago, and it was written many times, more times than than any other book that's ever been written, any other document that's been written. But you make a good point because the real question here that maybe we can look at here, if you don't mind, is has the Bible changed from the first time it was written, the original documents? Yeah, has it been changed from then to the Bible that we have today? And maybe we can look at that. Does that sound good to you? Awesome. So let's do this. Let's compare the original documents from the most well-known, I would say, historical documents from way back into antiquity. Let's compare those documents with the documents that we find written with the Bible, okay? And what we want to do is look at the timeline between the original writings of each of those documents to the second writing of those documents. Because if we can find the distance between those documents, that will establish how reliable the original documents are to the later ones. Does that make sense? Great. So, have you ever heard of a guy called Caesar?
Of course, I've heard of Caesar. Everybody knows who Caesar is. He's the dog whisperer.
Actually, he was a Roman emperor, Julius Caesar, not to be confused with the drink. Okay, Julius Caesar, And like we said, we're going to look at the timeline, the distance between the original documents, the historical documents about Julius Caesar, to the next closest documents that we have. Okay? And that timeline is actually 950 years. 950 years. Do you believe that Caesar was real?
Of course.
Awesome. So let's look at Plato.
Oh, I know him. He's that dog on Disney.
Okay. So yeah, let's look at Plato. So the closest document to the original that we have of Plato is 1,300 years. Aristotle, another old guy, was 1,400 years. Socrates, the next closest document, was 1,400 years. But do you know, from the original document to the next closest documentation that we have of the Bible, do you know that the time period for that was actually 50 years?
50 years. OMG.
I know, right? So 50 years, that's like, if you go on to your Apple Music or whatever and check out music from 1973, that's only 50 years. We're an American Band, Rambling Man, Saturday Night's All Right, all the good stuff.
How old are you?
Yeah, actually, I'm older than dirt. However, the point here is that the New Testament documents are more reliable than any other written work. There was only 50 years between the original to the next copies that were written, handwritten. So the Bible that was written 2,000 years ago is the same as the Bible that we have today. Exactly the same.
Right. So we know that Caesar and Plato and like all these dudes are like real. So that means that Jesus must be real. But the question is, are you